Kia ora, hello and welcome. Today we're making this beautiful bedside cabinet, which is quite a simple design. It only took me about 4 hours to make. We were in a temporary rental and I only had a skill saw and a set of drills, so I deliberately made the design very simple. The timber that I used was reclaimed purple heart decking. It's naturally that nice purple colour, there's no dye or anything in there, and apparently it's sustainably sourced, so that's good. But even if they weren't, the good thing about using offcuts that would otherwise be rubbish is that it doesn't really matter. So let's get into the first step, which is creating a simple design. Now initially I created this design after considering what we needed from the cabinet, which was a lot of shelf space and just a nice looking design. Now this one's got 12 mitered joins, which is quite a lot, and also 3 kind of edge to edge joins, which with just a skill saw and a set of drills is definitely too hard. That's going to take you all day and then some. The angles on the bottom of the legs were also a little complicated, so I decided to simplify the whole design to this, which is not as pretty, but it's all just butt joins that are screwed together. There's no glue or dowel needed and no miter joints, no complex angles, so it's really a lot simpler to make, which is what I was going for. Some of you might be interested as to how I did these models and animations. I used Fusion 360, which there are other videos on YouTube for, obviously. If you want me to go through how I did it, just let me know in the comments. So here I am just sanding the wood, and no, that's not a euphemism. I use an 80 grit, a 180 and then a 240 to finish, just to make it nice and smooth and good looking. Now you can choose the length of these are for the top and the bottom of the shelf. I've gone to 490, you could easily do 500 or any other measurement. Then I cut 2 pieces, these are at 420, which is 3 times the width of my timber. But yeah, just do 3 times the width of your timber. I clamp the 3 pieces for the top together and then clamp one of the sides on in the right place and mark where to drill and countersink. I'm drilling with a 3.5mm twist bit and countersinking with a 9mm bit, where I just dip the tip. I'm screwing these together with small zinc countersunk screws, which are basically because they were all I had. They're about 40mm long. Pretty simple process, just screw them in until they sit into the countersunk part. Don't screw too hard because you don't want to split the timber. So I was using a 3.5mm bit with 4mm screws, which is kind of maybe the drill is a bit too big, but this timber is very, very hard, so you really don't want to split it. Same thing, countersinking with the tip with the 9mm bit, and then screwing this bottom bit on. The sun in New Zealand is very, very strong, so you'll notice I'm wearing a good hat that protects me from those dangerous rays. Alright, and then I don't show it here, but I flip this over and screw 3 on the other side of the sides, and I end up with basically a box, which is the top, just sanding it here with the 180 and the 240 here to make it nice and neat. Now I'm cutting 2 pieces at 350mm, which are the legs. Make sure you put them face to face and cut the angle, because if you put them face to back, you'll end up with legs that are all facing the same way. That's if your timber has a front and a back. You'll need to put it face to face here. I would clamp it to basically a sacrificial piece and run your skill saw along it. That's the safest and best way to do it. What I've done here, which is clamp them together, cut in a little bit from one end, and then I shift it around and cut the rest of the way through, and the clamp sort of supports it. It's, yeah, a little bit of a dangerous way to do it. And then you want to rip one piece in half, just straight down the middle. That piece is about 350 long as well, and that's the support in between the legs. And then just drill, countersink, and screw again. So you can see that you can get through this whole project with very simple tools. You would not even need the skill saw. All you'd really need is a drill if you used a handsaw. It would just be a bit harder. Okay, and then we position the legs in the center. I've taken my hat off, I don't know why, a little bit dangerous with the dangerous sun's rays. Clamping it into place, nice and central. I've taken two pieces off the top so that I can get the screws in. Now I'm just marking where to go. Countersinking before I drill this time, which is mixing things up a bit, but whatever. Drilling in there and just screwing in my little screw. Nice and easy. You don't want to split the timber. Then I just reattach the top, and in the end you can sand it all and oil it or varnish it to your liking. I just left it natural, but yeah, that is how you build a beautiful bedside cabinet. That's after just washing off all the dust and stuff, and that's it there. You'll recognize that picture from the beginning.